On Tuesday, New York City Mayor Eric Adams was asked point blank by a reporter whether migrants bused from Texas could be sent back. Adams said the answer was no, though he did slam Republican governors for sending thousands of border crossers to the Big Apple. Adams and a host of other blue city mayors have had to grapple in recent weeks with an influx of migrants sent by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Democrats have called the busing of migrants cynical, cruel, and un American. Republicans have countered that they are simply taking sanctuary cities at their word and that migrants are knowingly being transported.
Do you think that the Biden administration failed to prepare for this influx of migrants when they originally lifted the public health related pandemic ban, essentially, on asylum seekers coming into the states? Do you think they failed to prepare, and that's now what's really driving this quote unquote breaking point that we're seeing in the city with the migrants coming in here?
No, I think what we're seeing in the city is a political stunt. I thought what really personified that political stunt is the governor of Florida. He had nothing to do with it. I mean, what was his purpose of sending a plane load to Martha's Vineyard? He just felt as though he wanted to get into this horrendous action. And so we're seeing the political stunt of this. I think that the Republican Party desire was to attempt to overshadow what they've done with the women's right to choose on the overproliferation of guns. I think this is a complete political stunt. And that's what has created what is happening here in New York City. And my concern is what's happening here in this city, and I believe they created it. This is a humanitarian crisis created by human hands, and it was a political stunt.
It stemmed from a crisis at the border. So should the federal government be doing more to provide assistance there?
I think it's crucial that we coordinate as a country to deal with the asylum seekers and the migrants, and that's what we're doing. That's the role I'm going to play as the mayor of the city.
I got two questions. Just one follow-up to Bernadette's. Trump's ban on asylum seekers and the fact that, you didn't have people coming in during that time, do you feel like that plays into it? Biden lifted it, Trump put it in place. So pre-Biden, presumably nobody was coming in, although I don't think that was exactly the case.
Right now, my focus is on what's creating the crisis in New York City. And the crisis that's been created in New York City is coming from a governor who is fueling the crisis, and he was intentional about what he was doing. He's been very clear about that. In addition to that, the first time he tried to deny what he was doing. So that is my concern, and my concern is not to try to figure out national politics. My concern is to address the crises that I have here, right here in New York City.
To deal with this migrant crisis in the city, are you working with any estimate, any number that the city could be seeing by the end of the year? Thousands? What's the number that you're working with?
Well, we're up to 13,000 now. I believe, about 9,500 are currently in our shelter system. 13,000, and we're almost a victim of our success because you don't see this disorder. People believe that it's not having a strain on our entire systems, social safety net systems. We just have been standing up every day doing our job, but we do need help. We need the federal government, the state government to play a role. And what's fascinating now that I reflect on that? Where's everyone else? I'm not hearing much. A few elected officials have been engaged in this, but everyone should be joining us and putting our heads together to deal with what these governors are doing. This is not just a mayoral problem. This is a problem for the city. And the solution can't be, I don't want a shelter in my district. The solution can't be calling out what we need to do. The solution must be everyone must be engaged and do what needs to be done.
Anything working number? 25,000 by the end of the year that you're working with? 30,000?
I believe the other day we had 8 buses that came in. It is difficult to predict the erratic behavior of an erratic governor. We have no idea what's next for him and what he's going to do. So we have to be ready to make sure we comply with our legal and moral obligations. So we is who would have thought the first time I stood in the rotunda and shared with you that we were receiving a bus. Who would have thought we would be here to receive the number of buses we're seeing now? I did not think we would have 13,000 asylum seekers and migrants in the city. So this is an unpredictable manner. I think the only perfect analogy is the erratic behavior of COVID is the erratic behavior of Abbott. You don't know what they're going to do.
And I did want to ask, can you send them back? Can you just turn the bus around and send it back to Texas?
It would be the wrong thing to do, and it would send the wrong message. We are clear that this city, we don't act in that manner. And to send someone back to a 45-hour drive, it's just not the right thing to do. We're saying let's coordinate. Let's figure out this crisis that we are experiencing. And when I look at the large number of other communities that have come from other places to experience the American dream, what would have happened if we would have sent them back? That is not who we are as a country. It's not about sending people back. It's about being humane. And this humanitarian crisis was created by human hands.
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to ask you about NBC4's reporting about the mother who died in a city shelter. They're reporting that she had 2 children. I was wondering if the city was undergoing an investigation around the circumstances of her death and whether you'll release some details about the status of her children.
We always do investigations after a death, no matter what happens, if it's inside one of our facilities. So yes, we will. And we will release the outcome of that as long as we conform with the laws that are required. You know, the laws are very sensitive around giving out information when it comes down to children and families. And so we're not going to release any information. These children are in the hands of the proper care that they need. And we're just really not allowed to give out that type of information.